That's what we're going with right here. So, first pick of the week is in the Utah-Washington game. Game of the week in the Pac-12. Utah is getting 9.5 points. This is on the road against Washington. Would I like 10.5 more? Of course I would. Here's my sneaky suspicion. Washington has been playing a lot of close games recently, two of which were not against good teams, one of which was against USC on the road, and a great win for the Huskies last week. I think the offense for Washington is going to have some difficulties. Not Arizona State level. We're not going to see that again from Washington. That was their off game. They're battling the flu and everything like that. So I don't think it's at that level. But this is a Utah defense that held Oregon to 35 points. That's one of their lowest point totals of the season. Their second lowest, in fact, only to the Washington game, in which Oregon decided not to take points down in the red zone. So make no mistake about it, this Utah defense is very good. And I think that Washington is going to win this game at home. I do not think they are going to cover. Kyle Whittingham, Kalen DeBoer in November is 28-1 in his career as a coach. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Kyle Whittingham is also, wait for it, a very good football coach. And I think with Washington's defense being, hit and miss, and over the last couple of weeks, they've allowed a lot of points. I think Utah's offense will be able to do enough to keep it closer than 9.5. I'll take Washington to win the game 31-24. Next one, in what is going to be probably the closest game of the week or the most exciting one, this is where I'm handing out the two picks. Washington State is plus 1.5 at Cal. I struggle picking the Cougs until they prove to me otherwise, and I would really love for them to, even though they're going up against my Bears here, jokingly, but, kind of not. I would love for Washington State to get off the 5-game losing skid. I would really, really love for that to happen until I see evidence that they are capable of putting together a complete game where the offense and the defense play well. Because last week the defense played well, the offense stunk. They played Stanford and weren't able to score. The week before, they put up 27 points on a good ASU defense. The defense allowed 38 points to a bad ASU offense. So I think that Washington State is just in a bad funk right now. And I hate seeing that. And they don't deserve conference realignment because of it. I think Cal wins this game at home. I'll swallow 1.5. The second bet I'm handing out here, Cal and Washington State over 58.5. I love that pick. I've only handed out an over one other time this year. It was an under in the UCLA Stanford game, and it hit. I think I'm going to go 2-0 there on the season, handing out over-under bets. 58.5. Cal's offense is good, and their defense is not. I think this game goes back and forth. It leans towards Cal that wins, surprisingly, with a late field goal here, 35-30 or 34-31. I think Cal wins. Swallow the 1.5, over 58.5. Numbers that I really like right there. That's not the only thing that I like this week, though. Next pick I like here, Arizona going to Colorado. Favored by 10.5 points. Arizona into the top 25 for the first time in the Jedfish era. Gosh, it's an exciting time to be a Wildcat fan, isn't it? And for the sake of the Pac-12 Prime Picks, I'm going to be a Wildcat fan this week because I'm picking them minus 10.5. I think that Arizona is a better team than Colorado. I'm not breaking anything there. Colorado has struggled to protect the quarterback this year, literally every single week. I don't think that suddenly changes against Arizona. I love this Wildcat offense. Defense is vastly improved. I think Oregon State gave Arizona the blueprint last week. The Wildcats I have power rated right now ahead of Oregon State because they won the head-to-head. It was at home. It was a close game. I think this game looks a lot like last week against Colorado for the Beavs, but for the Wildcats this time. Now, Colorado in 2 straight weeks has killed a Pac-12 Prime Pick selection with a backdoor cover. This time, I think Arizona is able to get it done just barely. 28-17, I think Arizona beats the Buffs. So 4 picks down, 1 to go, which leaves me a lot of big numbers. And I've gone back and forth on all of these. Stanford right now is plus 20.5. All these lines provided by FanDuel, by the way. Stanford is plus 20.5 at Oregon State. Arizona State plus 18.5 at UCLA, USC plus 14.5 at Oregon. So which one of these do I want to pick? I want to pick Arizona State plus 18.5 because I think Arizona State's defense is pretty darn solid. I also have no trust in Arizona State's offense against a really good UCLA defense. However, the Bruins just had a pretty bad loss on the road against Arizona. Coming back home, I think they're going to be able to move the ball and score some points. Oregon State, yeah, they've blown out bad teams. I don't know if Stanford's a bad team that's been playing better or if they're actually just kind of a decent team. They're power rated right inside the top 10 in the Pac-12, which of course isn't saying a ton, but they were 12 when the season started. They have elevated since then. They're playing well, throwing the football. I can go either way on any of these. And USC's defense, I don't see how they're stopping Oregon. I really, really don't. The one I've landed on is Arizona State, plus 18.5. I think the Sun Devils defense, not the offense. The offense has to score, I think, 10 points in this game. If they can manage just 10 points, they can cover 18.5. If this was under 17, I'd go with UCLA. It's moved to 18.5. I think this is me going against the public here, which tends to be a good idea. 27-10 final score. UCLA beats ASU, and the Sun Devils get a cover this week. So Pac-12 Prime Picks for Week 11, and then I'll get to my last two predictions here on the show. Arizona minus 10.5 at Colorado. Utah plus 9.5 at Washington. Cal minus 1.5 and over 58.5 in their matchup with Washington State, and Arizona State plus 18.5. Back-to-back winning weeks. Pac-12 Prime Picks, just a game under 500 on the year, but red hot lately. Hoping we can keep things going and get over 50% on the season. Go Pac-12 Prime Picks, go. Last couple of predictions, Oregon State over Stanford. Yeah, Stanford's just playing a little bit better football, and I think that, the Beavs are clearly the better team. I don't think Stanford can win this game. I think it's possible they could hang around, though. I'll take the Beavs 30 to 13. I think 30 to 13, probably your final score there. So a Stanford cover, if that means anything to you, but I don't feel confident enough to put that in the Prime Picks. And then I don't know what USC's motivation level is going to be against Oregon after their third loss in their last 4 games, which is why I left this one out of the Prime Picks. I do think Oregon wins 48-28. So Arizona, 28-17 over Colorado. Utah loses to Washington, but covers 31-24. Cal wins 34-31. Stanford loses to Oregon State, 30-13. Arizona State loses to UCLA, 27-10. USC loses to Oregon, 48-28. Let's have a great week. Hope you enjoy it. Appreciate everyone listening. I'll see you next time. And until then, hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.